Body, mind, spirit community. This is your goddess guru, Omilade, here to share a word of inspiration with you on your path to self-realization and self-mastery. I hope that life is treating you well and that you're finding a way to manage or navigate the tense energy of the times. I hate to bring bad news to good people, but you better get your great risings. I got a word for you, my sister. I got a word for you, Quanubian. But I recommend that anything you use to keep yourself chilled out, that's what you need to do, because nothing's changing. We are in the new normal. And cool believe a lot of us might would say it's always been a little bit energetically rough. I think I mentioned in my last video, sometimes I just feel like, why didn't I take the blue pill? Why did I take the red pill? Because the more awake you are, it's just you see what's going on, you know what's going on, but there's a part of me that feels like, okay, apparently I'm not awake enough, because I should not be moved. You know, my African ancestors here in America had it right when they said, just like a tree planted by a water, I shall not be moved. And so one of the things that I've learned in studying the Metuneta from Ra'u Nefer Amen is, you know, the name of the deity that the ancient Egyptians used for God was Amen. And when Amen speaks in divination, it says that you have to transcend. You have to know the truth on the highest level and be of the truth, you know, be in the world, but not of the world. You have to have the experience of the ultimate reality, so that nothing in the world moves you, because this physical reality is the least real of all realities, though it is a level of reality. It's very fortunate to be here. I know sometimes it may not seem that way, but it actually is a gift to be able to get a body and incarnate and come in here in this space-time continuum and experience it. And part of the reason we're doing this is so that we can transcend, so that we can go from, you know, knowing just a sliver to knowing the totality, which is infinity. And I can say all of this and it sounds, you know, impressive, but it means nothing if you haven't experienced it. It means nothing. It just sort of sounds good. It sounds like platitudes almost. So that's something that's key. That's one of the things that my guru Babaji talked about at the Great Mother celebration, that we can talk about consciousness, but if we have no true experience of the great divine consciousness, of our infinite nature, then just to know about it is good. It's better than not knowing about it. Yeah, we'll truly fall for the trappings of the world. Transcendence is how we receive our healing. And so, you know, one of the things I put in the description is Jupiter is moving into Scorpio. Scorpio is about healing. It's about transformation. And so it's important for us to experience the transformation. As a matter of fact, the more we transcend, the easier it is for us to step into forgiveness, because a lot of us need to transform due to wounds. A lot of us need to transform due to pain, and sometimes it's stored pain. And so, right, and we don't want just a vain ritual. And we want to make sure that what we're experiencing is within our consciousness real. And sometimes we do have to sort of just go through the motions, fake it till we make it, until we start feeling like this little bit of glimpse of reality, of truth. And the more we transcend, then we get to that point where we don't even need to forgive, because we're so expanded. We can see nothing touches our soul. And so moving into this Jupiter into Scorpio energy starting in October, it's a very big deal. First of all, Jupiter is the type of sign that stays around for a little while in a sign. So it'll be in Scorpio for a year. It's a year of transformation. And I'll talk a little bit more about it, and I'll probably talk about it all year long the more I understand it. But what I do know is Jupiter is the energy of Tahuti. It's the energy of expansion. It's the energy of Ma'at, you know. And so we have to learn to expand our consciousness. We have to learn to step on the outside of what we see, what we experience, so that we can see the fullness of what's really going on. And of course, the more we step ourselves outwardly, the less we feel touched by it. I never forget one time I went through an NLP like webinar, something like that. It was just, you know, like a taste of NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. And what the man did was talked about, okay, think about an experience that you've had in your life. Now act like you're looking at that experience, you know, across the room. Now look at it from across the street. Now look at it, you know, many, many miles up above. Now look at it from outer space. It's not even there. Basically, when we look at it from outer space, the more we stepped out from it, it was like, wow, it's like it doesn't even exist. And that's what needs to happen within our consciousness. That is what is going to be part of what helps us to not be taken down by the energies, if you're feeling it, of this universe. And it's important for us to make sure that we are aware of our destiny. I know that some of us will say things like, I don't know, I just think that some people have the ability to just sort of shield themselves from whatever's going on around. And I think that's a gift. People who are Cancerian probably have to do that quite a bit. I've learned about that Cancerian shell. We all have Cancer in us somewhere. We can all call on the energy of Cancer to sort of like put that crab shell on us and shield us. But we don't want to be like putting our heads in the sand. If we're not going to be super aware of what is going on, you know, on the greater collective, then what is important is that we at least be working on our destiny. Okay. We're all called to do different things. So we have an upcoming full moon. This full moon is in Aries. It's on Thursday. Again, I am learning astrology, so I can't exactly explain everything. All I know is every astrologer is saying Thursday is a big day, but not just because of this full moon. But part of the reason it is a big day is because of this full moon in Aries. And so we have to remember, what does the full moon do? The full moon is going to show us, are we making progress towards our goals? And so we can think about the goals that we set at the beginning of the lunar cycle. We can think about the goals that we set at the beginning of the year. We have sort of like two things going on. We just entered into the season of fall. And so fall is about letting go. It's about taking stock and looking at what worked this year, what didn't work. Have you done that? Have you asked yourself, what worked this year and what absolutely did not work? And what prevented me from achieving a goal that I absolutely wanted to achieve this year? And seek to release that, transform it. This is the energy of Oya. This time is from now until next November, baby. We're in transformation mode, okay? Some of us more than others, just sort of depending on what your chart looks like. Anywho, so we're looking at releasing anyway because it's the season of fall. We need to see, where do we fall short? We could potentially be harvesting or reaping some of what we harvested, be it good or bad. So we need to be looking at what's showing up right now. You know, how far along am I? How set back am I? So that we have that going on. And now we have this Aries full moon going on. And the full moon highlights what, we need to look at what is it bringing up for us and what is it showing us. The light, and a lot of times it's going to be the inner world, the inner sanctum. And so Aries is about, it's about the self. It's about new beginnings because it's the beginning of the zodiac. And so when we think about Aries, we're like, what do we need to get going? What do we need to pop off? What do we need to get started? Now, everyone's going to be sort of at a different place in their goals and objectives. But I see the fall as a time for us to see where I need to be going starting in the spring. Like right now, it's cleanup mode. It's like, okay, let me try to wrap up some loose ends. And then in the wintertime, it's like we need to sort of take our energy down. Though I know some of us, so for instance, my friend Charmaine with Essence Tree, she sells beautiful products. Even Nubian sells jewelry. This is a season that people start going into who are maybe in the retail industry, and they're going to have a busy winter. They can't help it. Now, after Christmas and Kwanzaa and all of that, y'all need to chill out. But even still, we can harness the time of the universe. Yes, ma'am. Nubian makes jewelry and sells it, okay? So we can still harness this time where we begin to release, let go, tie up loose ends, and slow our butts down. Y'all, look, we have to work with the cycles. I don't care that we have lights, so, connectivity to the internet, all of this that makes us to stay on the go, on the go, on the go, on the go. We have 24-hour lifestyle. We have to make the choice about what is the best way for me to live a lifestyle that keeps me intact and in tune with my true nature, be it body, be it mind, be it spirit. And so I'll just talk about intermittent fasting. I'm not trying to promote it. I'm just using it as an example. I've learned about it, and now I'm like, wow, this is the way our ancestors ate. They didn't eat all the time. They didn't eat a lot all the time. They ate when they had food. They would have to sort of engorge themselves because they didn't know when they were going to get their next meal. And that's why intermittent fasting, I think for me, is so easy. It's in alignment with my nature. And I'm not going, a day of food on and a day of food off. I'm just doing 12 hours on, 12 hours off. That's it. And so there was something else I was thinking about that I found. Oh, when I first had children, I began to realize, this discussion of baby sleeping in the bed. Yeah, if you're on medication where you can't wake up, yeah, you probably don't need to sleep with your baby. But it's what our ancient ancestors did. They carried their babies. They slept with their babies. And I was feeling guilty because everybody's saying, why are you always carrying your baby? Why are you just picking that baby up every time that baby cries? Why are you sleeping with the baby? You're going to spoil that baby. You know how the old women be talking to us. And then I found out, wait a minute, this came from my ancestors. This is how my ancestors raised their children. And so we have to figure out, how do we get in tune? We can't take all the old ways and throw them away, especially those parts that are like wired into our bodies, into our minds, into our spirits. We have to find a way to have unity and reconnect with these parts of ourselves. And so, spring, summer, winter, spring, summer, fall, winter. We need to work with the energy of each one and figure out, how do I stay productive while honoring this season? Okay. So we do need to be thinking about, what is it that I need to be doing right now? That's what Aries talks about. What do we need to be doing right now? And the one thing I can say is we need to be cultivating courage. We need to be cultivating that which is within us that moves us to do what we are called to do. Aries is like, look, y'all, get up. You can't be lazy. And we just have to admit, sometimes we're lazy and we need to stop being lazy. There's a time for lazy and there's a time for work. And there's a time to be courageous, to know I'm going to do it no matter what anyone says. When everyone is being lazy and I'm working, they're like, why are you doing all that work? You know how some of us work hard and folks are like, dang, you always busy. And it's just because they're feeling like they're slacking. No. And then there's times when it's like, seriously, I need to chill out. I've been way too busy. We short circuit ourselves because we're just so busy. And we sit down. Everybody's like, why are you sitting down? You're so lazy. We have to have the courage to be able to differentiate between the two. Okay. We have to have the courage to be the truth of who and what we are, because this energy of Aries is governed by Mars. Mars is not going to let anybody tell him or her who and what they are. All right. Period. So we have to have the courage to be who and what we are. That's something to think about during this moon. Aries is also another thing that's making this Aries energy huge is Mars and Venus are coming together, and they are the masculine and the feminine. And so we're seeking to bring that balance between, or to have that energy of the divine masculine and the divine feminine unite within us. We all have both energies within us. And I wonder, are you too masculine? Are you too feminine? Do you have the balance? Do you know how to call forth the masculine when the masculine is needed? Do you know how to call forth the feminine when the feminine is needed? Okay. And you know, it's like really sexual energy. So you might be feeling a little frisky, even though it's in Virgo. You know, Virgo is all about detail oriented, but the other thing, paying attention to details and you know, it's about focus. That's another thing that is a theme for this full moon. Focus. What are you focused on? Okay. But also it's an energy that's about our health. It's about our routines. And so again, we're needing to focus on our routines and having a balance in how we approach the way we live our life. So that's something else that's important. But this merging of Mars and Venus is not something that happens all the time. The way these planets operate, it's like sometimes just regular old stuff is happening, like the moon goes through all the signs every 2.5 days or so. It's just sort of what happens. And then there are times when planets will meet that aren't typically connecting. And so we have this Mars and this Venus connection that's happening on Thursday. The energy is supposed to be big. It could feel overwhelming. And all I ask you to do, because, you know, you can see me, I'm studying astrology and I get lost in all the lingo. So at the end of the day, what matters most is that we bring awareness to what is coming up for us. Just pay attention to, be focused on, even if it's something that you don't like, look at it like, you know, from where you are, and then step back and look at it, and step back and look at it, and just keep getting the bigger picture, the lesson, and what it is about for you. But what I can tell you is, if you need to take some action, if you need to have courage, Thursday will be a good day for that. And actually, you should be feeling that energy now. I looked at the moon last night, and that moon is, you know, it's already ready to looks already ready to be full. And it's in Pisces right now. It's not even Aries yet. Of course, Venus is about our passion. So we can think about what we are excited about, what we love to do. And Mars is our passion. So we need to be thinking, we want to channel our passion and everything in the right direction. Stop going after stuff that's not really for you. Focus on what's most important. What is your life bringing up for you? What is your Ori bringing up for you? And that was something else, because I went to my oracle and asked, what is the energy governing us at this time? And I said negative Geb Atep. That matches the Virgo energy. We need to be focused on our health and our daily routines. The daily routine is what's going to get you what you want or don't want. Because if you have a daily routine that doesn't incorporate what you want, it doesn't include day in and day out of tasks that takes you in the direction of what you want, you're going to get what you don't want, or you're going to get something else. Okay. So This is a time for us to be focused on our daily routines and on our health. That's very, very important right now. Gab is saying, what do you need to focus on your health? You need to take action about your health. You need to love yourself enough to take some action regarding your health, because our bodies become a distraction even without health issues. Oh my gosh, once we get health issues, it's a real distraction. I've been very distracted by my body for the last 3 years. And so, now it's a blessing. I've learned. I landed in a good place. Thank you, Uranus. But we don't want to be distracted by our bodies if we can help it. But what I decided to talk about from the Aset reading is devotion. This is another key to self-mastery. Awareness is one that I talk about on a regular basis. That one key alone might liberate everybody in the world. But there's also devotion. The question is, what are you devoted to? Okay? What are you devoted to? That is something to think about during this lunar cycle. Are you devoted to your destiny, or are you devoted to drama? Devoted to destiny or devotion to drama? Which one? Drama comes in different forms, okay? Are you devoted to being drab? You're not doing much of anything. Are you devoted to your spiritual practices? Are you devoted to your family? Are you devoted to your health, to the things that most matter? Are you devoted to your career goals? What are you devoted to? Because we're all devoted to something. And so, we just want to take that time to see what's coming up in terms of our devotion. Where are we channeling all of our passion? Are we channeling it into a TV show? Are we channeling it into gossip? Are we channeling it into, let me think of something positive. Are we channeling it into, I know I said something positive, but are we channeling it into things that actually move us further away from where we want to be or closer? So that's something to think about, okay? What are you devoted to? Once I began to really look at, and that's that Mars, what is your focus on? What are you pointing your awareness towards? Once I really began to look at how much I was focused on my pain and focused on my depression, then I said, no wonder I'm so depressed. No wonder I feel my pain so much. I had to learn how to focus on my depression and pain in a way to release it. And so that's important for us right now, to look at what are we focused on? What are we devoted to? Are we devoted to something positive or something negative? And it's important for us to kind of think about this now, because once Jupiter moves into, now Jupiter's had us focused on relationships. I didn't even realize this. I'm like coming in on the back end of this thing. Better late than never. But Jupiter is getting ready to move into Scorpio. So for all of us who have Scorpio rising, Scorpio sun, Scorpio moon, we're going to be really feeling it. And it sort of depends on the degrees of what you have in Scorpio. If you have any planets in Scorpio, Pisces or Cancer, actually, you're going to be feeling this energy in a big way. We're all going to feel it. And you have to look at your birth chart to try to figure out what house this is bringing up for you. What area of life is going to be highlighted for you. But whatever it is the energy of transformation. And so what I'm saying to myself is, I prefer to go into this thing woke. We have I prefer to go into this thing awake, okay? And, I've been dealing with all of this energy. Let's just talk about Jupiter. My whole life, Jupiter's been transiting through my houses on my astrological chart. But I didn't know what was going on. And so maybe it would have been easier had I known what Jupiter was doing and I would have worked with it. So I'm trying to get everyone to see what is going on planetarily, energetically, so that we can work with it, because they're saying this is rare. The way Jupiter is going to be in Scorpio, it is all beneficial aspects happening. It's other things that might happen in our charts, don't get me wrong. But Jupiter is going to be doing what Jupiter does best, conferring blessings when it comes to Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer. So those areas in our lives, and you may not know what they are, but if you are aware of what's being highlighted for you, and all you have to do is chill out on worry, chill out on negativities, chill out on all the distractions, maybe just unplug. You'll start hearing, this is what you need to work on. This is what you need to focus on. People will show up. Situations will show up in your life, and you look at them as not just things that are showing up in the human experience, but this is life talking to you, and you will know what area has been affected. Or you can put in your information into a birth chart calculator and find out what is your ascendant sign. That ascendant sign will show you where you're affected, which house is affected for you. So for instance, I'm Scorpio rising. My first house is affected. Okay. If somebody is Sagittarius rising, that means their second house is going to be affected. That means their money house is going to be affected. My house of self is going to be affected. I'm Pisces Sun, and Mercury is also in Pisces. Even my North Node is in Pisces. And so my house of Pisces is going to be activated. Okay. But because I'm aware of all of this, I have been resistant to accepting this is who and what I am. I'm not going to say I can't help that I was born in this culture where my flavor of spirituality, and to a certain degree, just a lot of things that I stand for, like recycling, is not actually the norm. And sometimes I feel like a weirdo, criticized, even been called that. But I chose this. I chose that. That's what Haru teaches us. Shango, you choose. You chose to come in here in this way, boo. Okay. And you're choosing how you're handling this. But I've been resistant. And just ever since the top of this year, now that I've learned more about astrology, I know more about myself. I'm like, wow, I act the way that I act because guess what? This is my birth chart. And so I have accepted this is who and what I am. I come here to be a spiritual person. I come here to share spiritual knowledge. This is what I'm supposed to do. Virgo rising, 2 house. What? What's PLY? Diaspora L. What's PLY? Virgo rising, 2 house something. Oh, 2nd house, Pluto. Ew. Okay. Well, you got some scorpionic ways to make some money. No, but really, Virgo rising, you need to be... Okay, yeah, here I go. I'm very addicted to astrology. So if you are Virgo rising, it's going to be your 3rd house that's activated by this Scorpio. Yeah, 3rd house. So communication skills, community, short distance travel. You're going to probably start learning new things or amping up the way you communicate. Capricorn, Sun, Cancer rising. You're right. You're right. Yoga, Zumba, and health coaching with Fabi. Y'all better check out that health coaching with Fabi, okay? I'm all about making connections, all right? I'm all about making connections. So, Fabi, I'm sitting here with my book right in front of me, girlfriend. Cancer rising. That's after Gemini. So for all of you Cancer risings, and if you're Cancer sun, this might, hey, you and me both, Mama Nubian. For Cancer rising, ooh, Fabi, 5th house, baby. 5th house is about recreation. It's about your children. It's about creativity. It's about love. It's about the thing that will help to spark a relationship you know, and I know you've been married for a while, so it's got maybe that spark, that dating piece that's important for our relationships. You know, for those of us who are married, if our fifth house gets activated, which mine is getting activated through Pisces. Oh, wait a minute. You know what, Fabi? With you being a Cancer rising, your first house is being activated by this also. Okay. So for the Geminis out there, because I know somebody out there is a Gemini sun. I don't know what your rising sign is. For Gemini, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's going to be your 8th house of transformation. Is that right? Yes. No, that's not right, Gemini. Hold on. Yeah, 8th house. 8th house of transformation will be will be activated. So that's from your sun, Quinubian. That's from your sun, your 8th house. So you're going to experience deep transformation, particularly when it comes to any wounds that you might have. And you might even find yourself becoming transformed in your spirituality, your ways of thinking, your ways of being. You're ruled by, that house is for you from your sun, ruled by Capricorn. So that's, it's about karma. It's about karma. And so, but anything that we lose, anything that has to be transformed, it will be with ease with this Jupiter in, Jupiter in Scorpio. Everything is supposed to be, we're going to be able to ease into this. It will be with blessings. Okay. So that's something to think about. Transformation with ease, but we've got to pay attention to what's going on, you know. So if it's your 3rd house and you're starting to feel like you want to learn, don't tell yourself, nah, I don't think I'm good enough to learn. Or with you being Virgo, you're not thinking you're not good enough to learn. But Virgos, you know what, y'all are humble. So yeah, if you have to get on your communication stick. You might need to travel more. A 5th house activation, that means creativity will be flowing and you must work with it. Queen Fabi, you've got to work with that and have that faith and that confidence and go with it, because not only is it opening something up for us this year, but we won't see Jupiter in Scorpio for another 12 years. It takes about a year for it to transit. So it's opening up long-term stuff. We may as well open up to it, unfold to the blessings of Jupiter. And like I said, as time unfolds, I'll talk more about that. Uranus in Scorpio in the 3rd house. So the other thing that you'll probably be like, you will not negotiate this with that Uranus in the 3rd house. You are going to be free. You are going to step into that place where you're like, freedom or nothing. Period. You've got to do it in your own way. And you probably have a really unique communication style. Own it. Own it this year and use it for your highest and greatest good. So this is that year of owning it. And Jupiter is going to be, you know, doing what it does, because Jupiter's like, I'm for you. It's a benefic. And so I'm for you is what Jupiter is all about. So that's something I want you to all to think about. October the 10th. And it's things that we can do to put ourselves in this place. First and foremost, be aware. So on Thursday, be aware of what's going on with this energetic full moon. If you see crazy stuff popping off on Thursday, you have been already told the energy is going to be crazy. I'm hoping that we'll be experiencing lots of blessings. I used to not so much do well with the energy of Aries, but now I'm like, okay, work will get done. I will get a lot done on that day. And I'm going to set the energy for the things that I need to get done. So maybe I'm just tying up loose ends for this year. I'm going to tie up those loose ends. That's what I am focused on at that full moon, or whatever, you know, maybe just that day. I'm just totally, or for these next few days, I'm just energy galore. Some of us are not going to sleep. Not with this Aries full moon. We're going to be wide awake. Just get on up. Do a dance with the moon. Okay. So I'm losing it, because I want to say we can do rituals. I think Quinubian mentioned some rituals. We want to do rituals, and they can be very simple, that we open ourselves up to the energy. I'm very organic. I don't care if I'm doing it right or wrong. Yes, good. Tap those loose ends, Quanubian. I don't care if I do rituals right or wrong because it's what my heart is about. And so I just open myself up to work with my ancestors, to work with the energy of Aries, the energy of the full moon, with grace and ease. Now, you know, if I'm working with like a Pisces moon, I'm not too worried about getting beat up because, you know, Pisces, it's about love and, you know, caring about other people. I'm not worried about getting beat up about Pisces. Aries, I might have to ask Aries with grace and ease, Aries. Or even a Scorpio moon, a Capricorn. Oh my God. I love my Capricorns, Fabi. You know I do, but that Capricorn moon beats me up. I'm like, oh my gosh. With grace and ease. Capricorn moon, please. So you might have to ask with grace and ease for some things. So yes, no right or wrong in our journey. But just say it from the heart. Work with me. I want to be in alignment with this energy. Jupiter, I wish to be in alignment with you. Jupiter is in you. Jupiter is in me. We can open ourselves up to our inner Jupiter. Okay. You know, I'm going to see if I can figure out some rituals we can do with Jupiter. Anything you know to do that expands your consciousness. I just like meditation, getting quiet, being present and aware. But I will see if I can figure out anything because Jupiter really, when I'm thinking about Tahuti in my eye, it's not so much about where you go or what you do. It's about this inner work that we do, opening ourselves up. So one thing I will say is see your life as a bunch of episodes that makes up a series. So we have the series of the day. We have the series of the month. We have, which would be the lunar month. We have, or the solar month. We have the series of, like right now, North Node is in Leo. We have all these different series, and within each series are episodes. This is how we have to look at our life. One day does not dictate what's going to happen. The other thing I think about is when I'm thinking about the big picture versus the little picture. The little picture we can work and navigate because we have a vision. That's something that we want to have for this year, a vision. So the little picture we use to navigate to get towards the big picture. But we can never make the little picture the big picture. That's what Jupiter's going to do for us this year. It's going to help us to see the big picture. And so some of the things we can do are journal and write. Go back and read our journals. I'll never forget the one time. And I'm sorry I look off, y'all. That's how I can hear what I need to say. I look back at my journals. Oh my gosh. I was terrified that I was talking about the same thing year in and year out. For me, that was like a Jupiter Ma'at type Tahuti moment. Looking at the details, realizing the big picture is not freaking changing. You know, so journaling and keeping up with what's going on, looking back over the year, and then setting intentions, and then actually making the changes in your life that's going to take you. That's one of the best spiritual practices you can incorporate in your life. Action. That's what Aries is about. Take some action. Sometimes the action is, it takes a lot of effort. Sometimes the action is that Virgo specialty. Bit by bit by bit by bit. Okay. Sometimes the action is that Gemini type action where I'm going to learn new skills. I'm going to teach new skills. I'm going to apply the new skills that I use. You know, sometimes it's that Cancerian action that we need to take. Cancerian action means I'm going to take action to actually do something for myself. I'm going to act and love and nurture me. I'm going to act and spend time with my family. I'm going to act and take care of my home. Okay. So, one last thing. I got an Odu. Chanting is something else that we can do. And I just say that because you can chant this Odu, Ogunda. Ogunda is hot fire energy. I was like, I got chills when I got the Odu yesterday. It was, I know it's Aries full moon. I asked what, using my Meta Oracle, give me a word. I got Aset. I got Geb. I was like, okay, cool. Let me just do an Odu from my Meridine Lagoon. This is Ifa. When I saw Ogunda, I was like chills, because Ogunda is the same energy as Aries and Mars. I was like, oh, wow. We really need to focus on Ogun. Okay, so Ogunda says, mind your business. That's what Cancer is all about. Cancer is like, I'm taking care of home and family first, and everybody else will come second. That's not selfish. That's smart. Even though I know Cancers, they're going to really take care of everybody. Cancer is like, you're going to come in, you're going to become their baby. I love the Cancerian energy. So, Ogun is saying, mind your business. You need to take care of home. Home is you, and home is, whatever, your family, your house, that part, that inner world. Take care of home. Okay. But also Ogun is take action. If you feel like you're not feeling safe, you need to call on Ogun. I ask Ogun, which is a warrior energy, surround and protect my family. Wherever my family is, surround and protect my family. When I feel ill at ease, Ogun, I'm going to need your energy to come in here and with grace and ease and handle this. Okay. Ogun is protective energy. So we can call on this energy of Aries and Mars to protect us, especially women. We can call on this energy to protect us if you don't feel safe. It will confer that protection. For the men, if you need that love and that care that that Venus is so well known for. Even women, I really do believe we all need all of it. The men need the protection, the women need the protection, the men need the love and the care, and the women need it too. But you can open yourself up to this energy of Venus. And, some of us might be feeling sort of sexual, but, even in, Scorpio is a little sexual, So some of us might get some sexual healing and all that this year with this Scorpio energy. Everyone knows Scorpio is known for being freaky. It's the energy of sexuality. It's also the energy of the occult. It's the energy of deep, dark, higher wisdom. So, all of that can be coming up for you also. So enjoy that if that's what you got going on. All right, you all. I have talked way longer. Great rising. How are you? I'm so glad that you have joined us this morning. I am about to end, but of course the replay will be there. I've had a great time with you all. Thank you all so much for joining me on today's live stream. And thank you. Yes, you are most welcome. And please share the video. I'm just appreciative of the readings that have been coming through that people have been requesting from me. Thank you so much. For people who refer folks to me, thank you. It is an honor to divine on people's behalves. But if you need divination, let me know. My website is goddessbodymindspirit.com. You can find my spiritual readings page there. And share the video, and let me know, how is this full moon for you? Yes, Ogun. Yes, that's right. Tuesday, Ogun's day. And I'm telling you, I feel completely and totally awake. Ogun is this warrior energy that I was talking about, you all. Completely and totally awake, even though I woke up at like 3 o'clock this morning. But I want to hear, how is the full moon for you? I'm very curious. Maybe I'll do a live stream after the full moon and we'll see what the full moon is like. Set your intentions going into the full moon, but let me know what it's like. And I'll just end with this. You all, we're not going to let this thing get us down. That's why I started the live stream with, this is our new normal. Beloveds, this is what we have. We're going to have to make the most of it. We can't let it get us down. That's what the powers that be want. All right? No, we don't roll like that. We're going to stay up. We may feel down for a moment, for one episode, but that's not going to be our series. That's not the theme. The theme of our series is shining. The theme of our series is destiny. The theme is overcoming, transformation for the better. Whatever, how we want to couch it positively. A couple of series we might be down. Excuse me, a couple of episodes we might be down. But that's not the full makeup of our series. Okay? So we are going to continue to make the choice to thrive, to live beautifully, and to show the generations that come behind us that not everyone is a lunatic, that we will show you how to transform. We will show you how to ascend in your consciousness, in your spirituality, in your body. We can do that for those that are coming behind us. They're actually counting on us, depending on us to do that. We are not going to lie down. Our ancestors did not do. I don't care what your ancestors look like. Not one of them lived for us to lay down. Not one. Okay? All right. I can shut it off now because I must get busy with the day. I wish you all a wonderful, beautiful day. Happy full moon to you all. May your ease into Jupiter and Scorpio be lovely, lovely, lovely. I cannot wait to hear about all the blessings that Jupiter confers on your life. And you all have a wonderful day. Peace.